What is up, guys? Silver Warrior here, and today I wanted to take some time. Alright, well, that was almost really bad if I just left that upside down for the whole video. But anyway, I wanted to take some time to just address some of the recent criticism I've gotten from a few different people. Just address some of the hate comments I've gotten because, you know what, some of them have valid points, so I do want. I'm not gonna be like one of those YouTubers that's like, ooh, reading hate comments with my mom, or ooh, doing this or that. I'm not like one of those people out there who does that. That's not me. I just want to address them so that the people who left those hate comments can kind of hear my side of the argument through more than just text. So I can actually, say it to them without replying to their comments. Because of course I replied, but I also want to be able to get my full side out there with having to wait for their response. So the first one I want to talk about is on my video, how much silver should the average person own? Somebody commented on there. I'm not going to say any names or anything, but some dude commented on there saying that that the average person, a well invested portfolio is should be 10% precious metals, and then they're like, basically trying to call me out, saying that saying that the average person, assuming they can save 10% of their paycheck, you said put 10% of your paycheck into silver, and they should be putting 10% of what they save into silver and stuff. So, okay, I can see what you're saying, that you do want to diversify your portfolio. However, at the same time, if somebody's living paycheck to paycheck, because let's face it, if you can only afford to save in total 10% of your monthly paycheck, then your chances are you're just barely getting out of the hole at this point. If someone's living like that, then should they really be worried about investing super widely into all these different assets? Probably not, because they can't afford to take the risks of the stock market, obviously, because if they lose that $20, that could be the only $20 that they have in their savings account. So silver is the safest way to invest, because if they're saving, they might as well put it into silver anyway and just save a little bit of their cash on the side just to have an emergency, because silver is a way of storing wealth. He's not understanding that I'm not saying buy silver bullion to invest. I'm saying buying it to store your wealth, to protect yourself against inflation over the next 5 years, because your currency is going to be robbed from you by the Federal Reserve every year. So you got to protect yourself from that by investing in silver. And assuming that the average person, let's say, the average person in the U.S. makes like $25K a year is what they make, because the average the median household income is like a little bit over 50 grand, which I messed up and accidentally said the average person. The average household in the U.S. makes around 50 grand a year, so the average person is like right around 25K. That means that every month you'll be making somewhere in the range of 2K, okay? 2 grand a month. And that will mean that if you took 10% of your paycheck, if you could save 10% of your paycheck, which is $200, then you went and put 180 of it into different things and only had $20 left for silver each month, that's only $240 a year. $240 a year is not even going to get you any more than 10 ounces of silver. I can stack more than that, and I don't even have a job yet, So I just think it's a little bit ridiculous to say that you should only be putting 10% of that, because if someone, like I said, if someone's living like that where they can only save 10% of their paycheck, then they might as well put it into silver, which is something that's not a risk, because they don't have money to play around with. They don't have money to just be like, oh yeah, I'll just put this in the stock market, I'll be a venture capitalist, right, and just invest in 20 small startup businesses. That's not the way it works, buddy. You can't just do that. You can't just go out and take these big risks when you barely have enough money to even invest in the first place. You have to be putting it into silver so you can at least have a significant amount. And of course, I always say, any amount of silver is better than no silver. If you have an ounce, that's already putting you ahead of 90% of people. But at the same time, if you can stack more, you might as well. And it is a better idea to try to store your wealth through silver rather than trying to invest and get ahead just yet. Wait until you have enough savings to do that later on in life, which will be greatly helped by silver when everyone else is, getting their currency eaten away by inflation, and you can have your silver, and, let's say after 5 years you have 500 or 600 ounces, then you want to sell a little bit of it, and then you could use that money to play around with, because you have 600 ounces of silver as savings. Now, another comment I got, and this was a while ago, but I never really thought to say anything to it. It was right around when I had 550 subs, so that should tell you about how long ago it was, about 2 months, I think. And the guy was like, he just said, dude, you make the worst videos. And someone else replied to him too and was like, kind of saying stuff. And he never really took the time to give me a valid reason. And I did, he was like calling me an idiot afterwards and stuff. And I was like, basically, like, I've taken an IQ test. I can take one for you right now if you want. Send whatever link to whatever website you want. I'll show you a screenshot of, because I've taken them and I've scored, 155 to 160 range on the IQ test. So that's far from idiot status. And I was like, there's a reason why I think I said like 558 subs and you have none, because of the fact that at least some people actually agree with me. And this guy was literally had no subscribers, no videos, and he had no valid argument. So he basically just said, dude, you make the worst videos, and that was it. And I mean, I really didn't know what to say to that because it was kind of ridiculous. But basically that's what he said. He just said, dude, you make the worst videos. And I was like, all right, well, let me know, tell me how. And then he just called me an idiot, basically. So I went and was just saying stuff back to him. But I really don't know what else to say to that because he didn't offer me any kind of criticism. So a third one I want to talk about here, and this is probably the last one, is someone who was like saying that, I think he was like, I know what it was. It was on my video, silver stacking versus silver investing, where I talked about how silver stacking, you're buying the metals, you're buying silver and just putting it away. Silver investing, you're actually using the silver. And I may even say this is kind of an opinion. I was like, but silver investing, I feel, is actually like you're actually investing in the metal in hopes of making a gain one day. Where silver stacking, I think you're just storing the metal. And then he was like, silver stacking is silver investing, you idiot, or something like that, or something ridiculous like that, And I was like, well, for one, this video is kind of, I even said, it's kind of just like my thoughts on it. It's not like some fact that's like sponsored or something. And for two, it's not exactly the same. I mean, because you think about it, I know that everyone says, silver stacking, silver investing, the same thing, but it's really not, because silver stacking is kind of the careless cousin of silver investing. It's really just, it's kind of what I do with silver bullion. I just silver stack it. I just buy it and stack it up. I don't invest in it because I invest in coins. Those are the things I'm going to make a gain on, and I know that. I'm not going to make a gain on silver bullion, or at least I don't plan on it, because of the simple fact that that's not the way it works. You don't buy silver bullion, at least if you're smart, you don't buy silver bullion with the hopes of in a few years being like, I'm going to be a millionaire. That's not the way. That's not the way it goes. The way it goes is that you buy silver bullion to store your wealth. That's silver stacking. Investing, the key principle of investing is that you're going to hope to make a big return on it one day. And that's not what silver stacking is, I think. But anyway, if you want to see more videos like this, like more like kind of like personal videos, or just like videos where I kind of like joke around and stuff, then let me know in the comment sections below. But other than that, that's it for this one. I hope you enjoyed it. Peace, love, and much respect.